be the Royals' fifth starter?
It's awesome. I mean, when they told me, I was ecstatic. I was upset I couldn't tell everybody. They told me yesterday, so it was awesome. Just going there, and just kind of earning that spot, and nothing's guaranteed. I was just trying to take it day by day this spring, and that's what I got to continue to do moving forward. But just ecstatic. Any way I can help this club, I'm going to do it. So super pumped.
What does it mean that you went in knowing hey, I'm going to try to earn this spot, that your work and the results have, you got rewarded for it?
Mm-hmm. It's awesome. It's a good feeling. It feels like it's been a long time coming. I feel like the last couple of years we kind of gotten beaten down a lot, just on and off the field, honestly, dealing with stuff and getting through it, and just going back to the basics and kind of getting my head straight and coming back and having a good spring, having a good end of the year last year, and to keep that rolling is going to be important.
When you look at the emotions of being able to be in a rotation in your second year, just take me through the journey of just being able to know, hey, I accomplished another goal on my path as a big leaguer.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that's where I want to put myself, right? I always see myself as a starter, so that's where I want to be, is in the rotation. Doesn't matter, where it is. It's just, I want to be a starter for the rest of my career. Understand that things are going to happen where, you might have to go get work in the bullpen, or you might have to be a long guy to do anything to help out the club. But to be in that rotation starts, it's super exciting for me, and feels super rewarding.
What was the first thought that ran through your mind when they told you?
Just wow, I felt like I was getting called up again. Honestly, I don't even think I might have teared up for that opening day when they told me. Definitely told my fiance. It was emotional for sure.
But is it validation for you now, or is that a too strong of a word?
Yeah, I feel like validation's almost wrong, because I feel like I've always had that type of stuff.
Okay.
I feel like I'm capable of doing it. So it wasn't too much of a surprise, because that's where I see myself being, and that's where I want to be. So it's kind of just something all right, it's go time. Gonna come out strong and start the season off strong. Can't wait for it to start.
In some ways, the work's just starting, right? The regular season hasn't even started yet.
I know, it's crazy. You put all that work, and you're working on stuff in spring training. You have good games, you have bad games, and you're just kind of working on stuff to get ready for the season. And you got to take all the good and leave the bad, because once that season starts, it's go time.
What can you take from this start today into the regular season?
Yeah, no, I felt good. I think for a team like Cleveland, they're gonna just swing and try to put balls in play and foul balls all the time. So for me, I think I got a little bit away from my plan. I kind of just pepper in the strike zone early. Fell behind a lot of guys, and then you start to see a lot of foul balls, and they're just trying to wear you down mentally. I think that's their game plan. It's always been their game plan. Started to feel a lot better as we went on throughout the game. I think the biggest takeaway for me is throwing good changeups today, for sure. I've been working on it all spring and haven't had a lot of opportunity to throw it, and today something clicked with it, and we started throwing it a lot more, started seeing swings on it. So that's great timing for it when the season's right around the corner.
When you have a team that likes to hit the ball, foul off a couple of pitches, things like that, is that actually a good thing, just to see where you can work in different situations and which pitches could work against guys that are aggressive at the plate?
Yeah, it's definitely more challenging. They got a couple guys that can bang on their team, like in Naylor and Ramirez, so being kind of a little more careful with those guys. But the other guys, it's like you almost want to just, put the ball in play. If they're going to hit me, they can single me to death, but it's going to find somebody at some point. So instead of pitching around those guys, in season, it's going to be attacking those guys for sure. And today I was a little timid with those guys, definitely.
Why was the changeup a big focus for you this spring?
Just because, with the other things in my arsenal, it was a good pitch last year, but the numbers on it were not great, like batting average against, stuff like that. I think it was super high. It was almost like an anomaly how high it was for the numbers of the pitch, and it ended up being like a wrist position problem. So working on it coming out just like the fastball all off season and kind of getting that feel, and then mixing in new grips. We've tried a ton of grips this off season and this spring. So finally finding one that was comfortable, and then trying to get the velocity out, because I think I was throwing it early in camp like 90, 92, which is just the hardest I've ever thrown a changeup, and I couldn't get it to go any lower. So seeing it come down to like 87, 88 today was great, and seeing swings on it, seeing a couple swings and miss, and some ground balls that's what we want with that pitch.
that the pitch that maybe you've taken the biggest stride this spring, or is it your sinker, or what would you?
I'd probably say the slider,
Okay.
just location-wise of it. And yeah, the sinker. Those two have been tremendous. I think what the sinker's doing to hitters and seeing more ground balls is just great for me. And I think the next thing to make strides on is the changeups. You know, and it's not perfect, but to keep working on it. And it's my fourth pitch, so it's not going to be that one that we go to all the time. But to be able to show it and use it for swing and miss or use it for ground balls is going to be nice.
Are you still throwing the curveball as well?
Yes. Yeah.
And looking at all aspects of your game, where do you feel like you've made the biggest strides since coming up last year?
I think it's mentally. I don't think it has much to do with my mechanics. For me, it's being able to recognize when I get frustrated or when I get tense and being able to slow the game down. That's going to be big for me for the rest of my career. You know, when I'm out there relaxed and it's kind of like I'm just out there playing ball in the backyard, that's when my stuff comes out the best. When I get frustrated, I get tense. I try to do too much. I'm trying to be cute with the ball or placing it. That's usually when I get in trouble. You know, like we saw today. Just kind of getting too edgy with balls, not getting ahead of counts. So being able to recognize it, I feel like I was back and forth, and then there's like a single, and then I get frustrated again. So really being able to recognize that, I think, has been the biggest thing for me this off season. So.
How do you recognize that, like when you're on the mound, you know?
I can tell. I mean, I'm sure you guys can see it too. I look like a different pitcher. You know, when I'm more tense and balls are kind of a little more sprayy. It's being able to have that recognition. Okay, calm down. You know, take your breath, lower your shoulders, and then get back in there.
Q was the one who told you, right?
Yeah.
So
And swinging.
And swinging. So were you called into the office?
Mm-hmm.
Were you nervous going into the office? Like that's.
I was. You know, it's like I said. I feel like I did a really good job this spring, so it wasn't like so much of a surprise. I felt like I deserved to be on the club. I didn't know I was going to be starting right away, so that was probably the biggest surprise. And it was funny because I feel like I hadn't talked to Q all spring, which I don't know is a good or bad thing, but once he called me in, yeah, it was definitely heart was racing because I had to figure it out. First thing I told him was like, now I get to find out where I'm going to live.
He said he gave you a big hug and y'all embraced too.
Yeah, it was great. It's fantastic. I'm just pumped that they have the faith in me and what they've done with me and the new coaching staff coming in, and just, you know, having my back and believing in me is the biggest thing. It's been great.
Appreciate it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks guys.
Congrats.
Appreciate it.